now that we have our ZBrush in the right position, I will come back to our subdivision 2 and I will export in our new folder, and I will come here, put subdivision 2. There we go. And I will go to our Maya now, and I will import our subdivision 2, and I will use that as a live surface to start the topology. So come here. This one might take a while because it's quite heavy, but it was not too bad. I will hide this group. And now what I will leave is this one here. That I will come this one and then our retopo head. So I will keep this head here to understand like what are we trying to aim in terms of loops here. And now I will take advantage to tell you that we are leaving these two meshes separate for two reasons. First of all, that in some studios, depending of the movie and depending of how hero is the character, the head and the body might be two separate meshes. And why is this? Because you have like some artists that are specifically working on facial expressions. So, and you work with blend shapes. And for these, it's much better to work only in the face, right? So basically they keep separate the face and the body for that stuff. And also the second reason is that we are going to be able to get a much higher level of subdivision in ZBrush if we keep these two separate. Because if we would have, imagine that, I don't remember exactly how many polygons, but in the highest subdivision level that we had in ZBrush in our head, we were like, let's say in 40 million polygons, right? If we would add the body and we would want to reach that same level of topology, we would end up with like maybe 80 million polygons. That is like super difficult like to handle in ZBrush. And also it would take really long to export the displacements and everything. So for that, we keep these two separate. So now we can take this mesh and subdivide it maybe one time more, and to reach these like maybe 40 million. It will depend on the number of polygons that we will have in our base mesh, but let's say 40 million. So we will be able to go like much more in detail in both areas, in the body and in the head, without like losing the ability of moving things around. Because in ZBrush, if we reach like 100 million or something like that polygons, like it would end being impossible to handle, right? So that's why we are keeping these two separate. So for this, what we need to do is we will try to match the same line of polygons, because even if we are keeping these separate, this needs to work as one mesh, right? And even what we can do, for example, if we would want to pose this character, all together, right? And we want to move the head and everything. What we will do is we will have three meshes. We'll have one mesh that will be all these together. So we'll merge the head with the body. One mesh that is the body, and one mesh that is the head alone. So again, in ZBrush and in ZBrush itself, we will keep these two separate. But then we will have the mesh that will have the entire body, and we'll use that to pose. And then if we have the same UVs in these three meshes, we will be able to transfer attribute as we did before with the UVs. So for example, if we would pose I will show this later in the course, but if we pose the character that has the entire mesh complete, and then we transfer the attributes with the UVs, we will be able to move the body and the head in that position after. So I think that's all for now. And in our next lesson, we will start working on the topology of the character, starting with really big panels, like really big polygons, and then starting to get like a bit like deeper in detail. But again, the most important point here is that we need to have the same number of edges around here to connect these. And then, well, I will go a bit more in detail in the next lesson, but we need to work on the loops in the arms and everything to get a nice like a nice topology in general.